Hello, my name is Sierra Dent. I'm a pastry student here at Louisiana Culinary Institute, and today I'll be showing you how to make chocolate dipped nut bites. This is an easy to make healthy snack, and I'm going to walk you through how to make it. So first off, you always want to have your ingredients prepped and ready. So to start off, we're going to chop all of our nuts. So you just want to push them all into a pile and take your knife, holding it this way, and just chop. So these are walnuts, and all of the nuts and seeds that we have here is going to be walnuts, almonds, and pumpkin seeds. They're all high in omega-3 fatty acids, which help lower bad cholesterol and raise good cholesterol levels. So you just want to ensure that they're all around the same size so that you don't get big chunks of one nut in one area. And then I've went ahead and chopped the chocolate because it will make it easier when melting it and it won't take as long. And then we have our honey, butter, and salt to taste. And the last thing that you want to prep is going to be your pan. So in order to keep it from sticking to the bottom, just take a piece of parchment paper and place it on the bottom. And go ahead and have one the same size that you're going to use to place over the top. So the next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and start heating the honey and butter. So you just want to make sure that you have all of the honey in the pan. And then we have 2 tablespoons of butter. And in place of butter, you can also use ghee. You can also use coconut oil in place of your butter because coconut oil at room temperature solidifies and acts exactly like butter, but with a lot more healthy benefits. While you're heating the butter and the honey, you just want to make sure that you constantly stir it because honey will burn easily. So if it starts to bubble, you just want to make sure you turn your heat down. Okay, so with the honey and the butter, what you're looking for is a deep golden color. So this is the color and the consistency that you're looking for with the honey. So now you're just going to turn off the heat and go ahead and add in your nuts. It's going to be 1 cup of walnuts, 1 cup of pumpkin seed, and 1 cup of almond. And after you get all the nuts in there, you just want to kind of push them around so that you can mix the nuts together and also mix it in with the honey. And like I said, this is a paste, so you want to make sure that you coat them all. And once you have a nice consistency of the coating, so what you're going to do is take this and just place it into here. And once again, you want to make sure you scoop it all out. You could actually use your spatula to spread it around some. And what we're looking for here is a nice, even, flat layer. And then to also ensure that it's all even, you take your other piece of parchment paper and you put it on top. And you're just going to press firmly. And you can actually feel with your hands if it's even or not. So once you feel like that you have it at a nice consistency, you just take this pan and you're going to set it into the refrigerator for about 5 to 10 minutes, just so it'll harden up. Okay, so while we were waiting for the nuts, I went ahead and cleaned up my area, and it's been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and check on those now. So what you want to do to make sure these are finished is just press down gently on them to make sure that it's nice and firm, which they are, so we'll move ahead to the next step. So you just want to remove the top layer of parchment paper and then pull from the bottom layer of parchment paper, and it should come right out. Now what I've done here is I went ahead and cut around the edges so that it's nice and straight. And you just want to peel back the parchment paper. And you just want to set that aside also. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut this into nice even squares. So you're going to take your knife and start from the top and just gently press down as you roll back. And if you would like, just to ensure even cuts, you can use this as you go along. So you're going to start from the top and rock back. So then you're going to take these rectangles and cut them into smaller squares. You can do them individually or all at once. It's your preference. So again, you're just going to rock with your knife. So there are a few different ways that you can melt chocolate. You can melt it in the microwave, and you can melt it on the stove, over a double boiler, which means over a pot with boiling water in it. Or you can do it over an open fire like I have here. So you're just going to take your bowl and turn on your flame. And you want to be very careful either way that you melt chocolate, because chocolate is very delicate and it will burn easily. So if you're doing it over the open flame, what you want to do is take your bowl, set it over the flame for just a second, and then stir. And you'll see it start to melt on the bottom. And then you just put it back over it and stir. And what you're doing here is actually heating up the bowl so that the bowl will contract the heat to the chocolate and melt it. So if you don't have a gas stove or an open flame in your home, what you can do is you take a pot of boiling water and you can set the bowl on top of the pot, and the steam will actually warm the bowl like we're doing here, just without the flame. So the consistency that you're looking for with the chocolate is going to be smooth, creamy, melted chocolate. There should be no chunks in it. And once you get to the point where most of the chocolate is melted, you actually don't need the flame anymore, because the chocolate will be to the temperature where it will melt the rest of the chocolate. You just want to keep stirring and it should melt out the rest of the chocolate. So if you're doing this at home and you're using your microwave, you just want to make sure that you take the bowl out and you stir every once in a while, because even in the microwave the chocolate can burn. So once you get your chocolate melted, you just want to take your spatula and scrape on the sides just to make sure you don't have any chunks left on there, which I did. And you just want to mix that in and make sure it gets melted. And then just scrape around the sides, because we are dipping, so you want as big of a puddle as the chocolate as you can get in the bottom of the bowl. Once again, wipe off your spatula and scrape it down. And when you're done melting the chocolate, just go ahead and turn off your stove. Okay, so I've got my hands washed, and next what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take the parchment paper that you used before, and you can just flip it over and lay it in the bottom of the pan. And what this pan is going to be for is after you dip your nuts, you're just going to place them in a nice even row inside the pan so that we can place them back into the refrigerator. So you just want to remove your spatula from the bowl. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the square and you're going to dip it in the bowl and pull back and push forward, just to ensure that you get a nice even coat on both sides. And you want to twist around to make sure that little drop just stays right there. And carefully set it down so that you don't smear chocolate all over the paper. So after you get all of your nuts bites covered, you can actually sprinkle some sea salt on top for flavor, unless sodium intake is something you're worried about. If so, just leave the salt out. So now that you have all your nut bites dipped in the chocolate, we're going to sprinkle them with some sea salt here. And then we're just going to place them back into the refrigerator to allow the chocolate to set. Okay, so now it's been about 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and check on the chocolate. Without touching them, you can tell that the chocolate is done by looking at it. And as you can tell, it has lost its shine and it has more of a dull look to it now. And that means that your chocolate is set. So now we're just going to plate it. And so I have this plate here. Just going to take them and set them 3 in a row. So these will make great snacks for maybe after school or desserts for after supper. I'm Sierra Dent, and here you have our chocolate dipped nut bites. For this and other healthy recipes, visit rapidsfoundation.org.